Now, this isn't clickbait, I promise you. You only have a few weeks to act on this. Did you get a notice of valuation in the mail for your property in Colorado and it totally blew your mind? Well, you aren't alone, and you aren't the only one who may not know how to fight the tax man. In this video, I'm going to give you tips on how to take on the county tax assessor using advice from the county tax assessor himself. I'll give you strategies on contesting your new tax assessment and keeping your hard-earned money, hopefully, in your pocket. I'll share the timeline of what to do and when. I'll give you the do's and don'ts of contesting your tax assessment from the assessor himself. And finally, I will give you tips on how to tackle one of the biggest items on the list and how to get help. So let's dive right in. Really quick, my name is Anson Young. I'm with eXp Realty. I'm not here for your business. I do not want to convert you from your favorite agent. I really just want to get this information out because I feel like it's kind of an unknown right now. If you do need some direct help from me, please fill out the Google form in the description below or in the link below, and I will do my best to get you all the help that you need or refer you to another agent or peer that can help you. No strings attached, no obligation. Again, I'm not here to convert you to me. I've been an agent for 15 years, and I have also been in real estate investment and valuation for that long as well. Keith Erffmeyer, the Denver County tax assessor, said on a Zoom call that I was on that there are 3 C's to consider when you are contesting your tax valuation. The first one is characteristics, the second one is condition, and the third one is comparables. We're going to go through all 3 right now. Keep in mind that while I did learn from Keith Erffmeyer that he did talk about a lot of these principles being universal. So if you're in Douglas County or Arapahoe County or Gilpin County or wherever you are, the tax assessors are all on your side. They're just doing their job on assessment laid out in the state constitution. If you have some legitimate reasons of why your tax value is wrong, they want input. They need that input in order to get the most accurate data available. So the first one being characteristics. Now, the tax assessor can't get out to every single one of these properties, and so they do a lot of blanket assessments, and they take a lot of data that they just have in their databases. Some of this can be wrong. Your square footage, garage size, your kitchen remodel, it could be bedroom, bathroom size, finished basement or not. Pay attention to what the tax assessor is saying about your property, either on your valuation form or online. And then if anything is wrong, you can contest it. Now, keep in mind, if it says that you don't have a updated kitchen and you actually do, if you tell them that you have an updated kitchen, your tax assessment could actually go up. So keep that in mind. I'm not telling you what to do here, but just keep that in mind. The second C is condition. Again, they don't do drive-bys on these properties at all. So if you have any kind of conditions that they should consider, whether it's an old roof, old windows, your kitchen isn't updated, any kind of negatives to your property that you feel are important, now is the time to share those with photos, preferably. They also want to know what the cost will be to cure these things, and they will factor that into your new assessment. Potentially. I'll get onto the odds later on, so stay tuned for the odds on the success rate of these. And it might be higher than you think, honestly. The third C is comparables. These are like properties that have sold that are just like your house. This is what agents use to value your house. This is what appraisers use to value your house. This is the best way to value your house. Now, they might have got these comparables wrong. Right on your sheet, it should tell you the comparables that they used in order to value the property. A lot of people are seeing these and immediately saying, that house is nothing like mine, or it's way more fixed up than mine is. This is the time to let them know. And if you're pulling new comparables, say that you know of some properties that have sold that are more like your property and actually are more in favor of your argument, you can present these at this time. But keep in mind, they will only look at properties from January 1st, 2020 through June 30th, 2022. That's it. They do not consider the current market right now. So if you have a property that sold last week that is the most favorable to your argument, they will not even look at it. So it has to be between January 1st, 2020 and June 30th, 2022. So also keep in mind that any comparable that is before June 30th, 2022, they will basically do a time accelerated valuation to determine what that property would have sold for on June 30th. So for example, you find a great house down the street that sold June 30th, 2021. It's way in your favor. Now you submit that to the assessor. They're going to take that June 30th, 2021, and they're going to accelerate the value as if it sold on June 30th, 2022. So in a rising market, of course, that comp is now going to be worth more. So if it's 500, it might be now worth 575 or something like that. So keep that in mind, but it's not a reason to not contest. It is still worth it for you to get the best comparables for your tax assessment. In order to pull these, you can use Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com. You can contact your favorite agent. You can contact any other valuation specialist, say your cousin is an appraiser, that kind of stuff. Trying to get these comparables and get them to the most accurate possible, you might want to contact a professional. There are lots of agents and lenders who are doing this for free right now because they know it is such a hot thing. Everybody's taxes went way up, and we want to help fight that. Let's talk about timeline because it is really tight. The date today is the 19th of May. They sent out the notice of valuation on May 1st. You have until June 8th to contest these, to send something in. If you send something in on or before that date, you're okay. You have a little bit of wiggle room, and I'll tell you the next steps after that. If you don't contest and if you don't send anything in, you're basically saying, I'm okay with this number and please tax me this amount. So I suggest to get something into them. The more actual evidence and data, the better, but getting something in is better than nothing in. So the next date on there is August 15th. They are going to do a notice of determination. This is basically their answer to your protest. They're going to say what we think it is now based on the evidence that you provided. And so if that doesn't look good, if your notice of determination or the answer that comes back doesn't look good, you have until September 15th to actually appeal that. And it goes to a different appeal board. It goes to something called the County Board of Equalization. And there's a whole process behind that. The determination of that comes back on November 1st. The new notice of determination is mailed to you, or your notice of value. There are some steps after that, but he didn't really go into them. They seem like they are more on the state level for contention, maybe larger properties, maybe something that doesn't have to do with residential. I'm not 100% sure. Now, here are the protesting suggestions straight from the man himself. The tax man says, don't consider the current market. You cannot, bring into effect the current market. Today, obviously, house prices are down versus last year at this time. That's favorable, to us as the taxpayer, but not favorable to the assessor. They kind of cut off that date at the beginning of 2023 and say no more. Do remember the date of value. This is from January 1st, 2020 to June 30th, 2022. Anything before that, anything after that, those comparables, they will not even look at it. They won't even do it. They just go in the trash can or something. Do remember the assessment date. So we didn't talk about this a lot, but if your property condition changed, not the value, but the condition changed from June 30th, 2021 to January 1st, 2023, they will consider that. So if you fixed up your kitchen and you want to tell them about it, they will consider that. If you have a tear down property and you tore it down in that time frame, they will obviously consider that. If you got hit by a fire or hail or anything else that could negatively affect the condition of your property, they will want to know that. So again, condition, not value. Don't protest the taxes. So if you just say, this is too high, this is too much, I can't afford it, they don't look at those. There's no evidence to back up, why you're contesting it. You're just basically, complaining in their eyes. And they're not going to downward trend your assessment based on hey, I can't afford this. Unfortunately, that's just not something that they can do. Don't consider the rate of increase. If you think that the percentage rate is too high, if you just mail in and just say, hey, this percentage on the increase is too high, what the heck? Again, those will end up in the trash can right next to the other kind of complaints about the process. There's no evidence base behind it, so they'll just toss it out. Do review the property characteristics. These are, the stats of your house, the bedroom, bathroom square footage, lot size, the improvements, all of those things that are on the tax record. Compare that with reality and give them any corrections that you have. Again, he said it again, but don't simply say the value is too high. If you just write in and say, my house is not worth $550,000, they're just going to say, well, you didn't provide any evidence of that, so out you go, right in the trash. Which brings me to the last one. Do provide evidence. Here's the list: sales, photos, descriptions of issues that are negative to the property, estimates of costs to fix or cure, rent rolls, etc. They will also consider refinance appraisals in that time period. So from January 1st, 2020 to July 30th, 2022, if you did a refinance in there and it looks different than your tax assessed value on this piece of paper, do include that refinance appraisal. They will absolutely look at that all day long. Now, how do you actually go about appealing this? On some counties, there is a detachable form where you can fill it out and just protest it there. The second one is many counties actually just have those forms on their website. So if you lost this for some reason or your dog chewed it up, you can go ahead and print out a new one, fill it out, send it in. The third way is that many counties also have an online protest. I know Denver County does, and you can protest it right there online. You can select your comparables right in their system. It seems like it's pretty easy to use. The fourth one is to just mail in a letter. State out your case in a letter, print it out, sign it, send it in to the assessor. They do consider those. So it doesn't have to be on an official form for most counties. Now, this is for Denver County. He said, look, if you just send it in a napkin and it has evidence on it, they will consider it. But I, suggest probably using a form or something that kind of keeps you in line with what they're looking for. And the last thing is that I know that this process looks like it's daunting. It's crazy. The timeline is very short from now until when those protests are due. So if you do need help, reach out to myself, your favorite agent, your favorite lender, your cousin who's an appraiser. Reach out to somebody for help with the comparables. And if you need any help on condition or any tips on, what your personal situation is like, then get those from a professional and see if they can help you through that process. If you want to fill out the Google form below and see if I can help you, that's totally fine. Again, no obligation, no strings attached, just here to help. And according to Keith Erffmeyer, again, the Denver County tax assessor, the success rate for successful contentions is 40 to 50%. So you have about a 50-50 shot on getting this done. Now, I don't know if this includes the ones that they just toss, the ones without evidence, or if out of the ones with evidence that is the success rate. So I think that it's still very much worth it to put in the time and effort in order to contest your taxes. 40 to 50%. That's not too bad. I mean, if I had a 50% chance to save money on my taxes, I would take that shot all day long. Again, my name is Anson Young with eXp Realty. I hope that your tax protest is very successful and that you save some money through your tax assessment. So until next time, we'll see you later.